There is a secret that separated history's greatest warrior from ordinary men, and if we're being brutally honest, 99% of men today simply don't have what it takes to apply it. Miyamoto Musashi won 60 duels to the death. He never lost a single fight, and at 62 years old, he died completely undefeated. But what this legendary swordsman discovered about male weakness, it cuts deep, it stings, and honestly, it might hit a little too close to home. Before he passed, Musashi wrote something that reveals why most men become, well, pathetic. He saw that they become enslaved to 3 destructive forces that rot them from the inside out. And when you hear what they are, you'll understand why you might be one of them. But first, if this kind of content speaks to something deep inside you, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button and ring the bell. Because we're not here for superficial motivation, we're here for real transformation. Now, let me take you back to who Musashi really was, because most people only know the surface. Born in 1584, during the bloodiest era of feudal Japan, he killed his first man at 13. By 16, he had already earned a reputation as an unstoppable force of destruction. But here's what they don't tell you in the history books. Musashi wasn't just a warrior, he was something far more dangerous. He was a mental predator. He obsessively studied the psychology of every opponent he faced. He would dissect their fears, their hidden insecurities, their weaknesses. And then, he would mentally destroy them before his sword ever left its sheath. A researcher from the University of Tokyo who specializes in Japanese history shared something that sent chills down my spine. He said Musashi didn't win because he was faster or stronger. He won because he understood something about human nature that his opponents didn't even know existed. And that realization changed everything for him. So what were these 3 deadly weaknesses? In his final years, Musashi wrote a book called The Doku, The Path of Solitude, and in it he exposed the 3 weaknesses that unravel any man. The first weakness, approval addiction. Second, Musashi wrote, never seek to be loved by everyone. And here's why this is so brilliant. He understood that the need for approval is chemically identical to addiction. Think about it. When someone praises you, your brain releases dopamine, the exact same neurotransmitter released by drugs. And just like any addict, you need bigger hits to feel the same satisfaction. That's why you see men doing absolutely anything for likes, for comments, for a scrap of attention. They're hooked. They need external validation just to feel worthy. Musashi saw this 400 years ago. He wrote, when you need the approval of others to feel valuable, you have handed your power over to them. And a man without power, he paused, is just a shadow. The second weakness is escape from discomfort. Accept everything as it is, Musashi wrote, because he understood something brutally simple about human nature. Most men spend their entire lives running from hard conversations, running from important decisions, running from responsibility, running from anything that feels uncomfortable. And do you know what happens when you're always running? You atrophy, you weaken, because genuine strength is only forged in discomfort. A neuroscientist with 2 decades of experience explained it in a way that shattered me. The human brain only develops new neural pathways when it's forced outside its comfort zone. Men who avoid discomfort, they literally stop evolving mentally. Musashi knew this instinctively. That's why he actively sought out uncomfortable situations. He leaned into them. First, the third weakness is slavery to desires, and this one cuts deepest of all. Let go of desire, Musashi wrote, because he realized that as long as you're controlled by your impulses, you're not a man making choices. You're an animal reacting. Think honestly for a moment, how many men do you know who are completely dominated by their urges? Uncontrolled sexual desire, endless craving for food, entertainment, alcohol, validation. These men believe they're free, but they're slaves to their own impulses. Musashi transcended that. He became the master of his own desires, not their servant. And when you control your desires instead of being controlled by them, something shifts. You become unstoppable. But that's only the beginning of his brutal philosophy. Musashi developed something he called forging through solitude. And honestly, this is more extreme than anything you've probably ever encountered. After his early duels, Musashi made a radical choice. He would spend years in complete isolation. No women, no close friends, no family, no distractions, no emotional support. Why? Because he understood a truth that will give you goosebumps. A man only discovers his true strength when there's no one left to save him. He trained alone in the mountains. He meditated alone in caves. He faced his deepest fears completely alone. And during that solitary journey, he identified what he called the 3 inner demons that haunt every man. A demon 1, the voice of doubt. The whisper that says, you're not good enough. You're going to fail. You don't deserve this. As demon 2, the voice of addiction. You need others to feel whole. You can't survive alone. You need approval. You need validation. As demon 3, the voice of fear. What if you fail? What if she rejects you? During his years of solitude, Musashi waged an unrelenting war against these 3 demons. And he won. Completely. But then he developed a technique even more extreme. He called it a living death. Every single day at dawn, Musashi would sit in meditation and visualize his own death in excruciating detail. He imagined his body being cut by a sword. He felt the blood flowing. He experienced his life fading away. Does that sound morbid? Dark? It's not. It's the most intelligent thing a human being can do. Because when you fully accept that you will die, you stop being afraid to live. A cognitive therapy specialist explained it perfectly: the fear of death is the root of all other fears. When you transcend the fear of death, you transcend all fear. And that's exactly what happened to Musashi. When he finally returned to civilization after years of this brutal self-discipline, he was unrecognizable. Something extraordinary had happened. He had become literally unstoppable. Opponents reported something terrifying. Before the duel even began, they already knew they had lost. How? Simple. Musashi radiated such absolute confidence, such an intimidating presence, that he broke them psychologically before they ever drew their swords. One samurai who faced Musashi and survived, yes, he sometimes showed mercy, said something that left me speechless. Looking into Musashi's eyes was like staring into an abyss. You felt you were looking at someone who had completely transcended fear. And that was terrifying. During this transformation, Musashi developed what he called the 5 laws of invincibility. Law 1. Accept loneliness as your greatest teacher. He discovered that only in solitude do you truly meet yourself. No distractions, no one to impress, just you and your naked truth. And Law 2. Turn discomfort into fuel. While other men flee from discomfort, you must embrace it, because discomfort is where strength is born. Law 3. Kill your emotional needs. The need for approval, validation, love, acceptance, all of it makes you dependent. All of it makes you weak. Law 4. Live as if you were already dead. When you accept death, you free yourself from fear. And without fear, you can do anything. Law 5. Become master of your impulses. A total control over sexual desire, hunger, anger, laziness. Every primitive impulse must bow to you. But the ultimate proof of Musashi's transformation came in his most famous duel. The fight against Sasaki Kojiro, the second greatest swordsman in Japan. And what Musashi did was pure genius. He arrived 3 hours late. Why? To shatter Kojiro psychologically. While his opponent waited nervously on the beach, growing more agitated by the minute, Musashi calmly carved a wooden sword from a boat oar. When he finally appeared, Kojiro was already mentally defeated. The duel lasted less than 30 seconds. But here's what's even more impressive. After becoming invincible, Musashi revealed something that completely contradicts what most people think it means to be a man. True masculine strength, he wrote, does not come from dominating others, it comes from dominating yourself. And he proved it. For the last 20 years of his life, Musashi never killed anyone again. Even though challengers constantly sought him out, he found ways to win without bloodshed, because he had transcended the need to prove his strength to anyone. During those solitary years, Musashi also discovered what he called the secret code of strong men. The secret 1. Strong men don't need to look strong. They're so secure in themselves that they feel no urge to prove anything to anyone. As secret 2. Strong men are masters of patience. They can wait years, decades for the right moment, because they understand that haste is a sign of weakness. Secret 3. Strong men aren't afraid to be wrong. They change their minds when presented with new evidence. Only fragile egos need to be right all the time. Secret 4. Strong men protect their weaknesses. They know exactly where they're vulnerable, and they work obsessively to strengthen those areas. Say secret 5. Strong men are unpredictable. They never follow patterns that others can exploit. They maintain an element of mystery. But perhaps Musashi's darkest discovery was about the nature of male competition. He realized that 90% of men aren't really competing to win. They're competing not to lose. And that's the difference between predator and prey. Predators attack to conquer. Prey defend to survive. Musashi became the ultimate predator because while his opponents fought to stay alive, he fought to win. He also developed a thought experiment to test his own strength. He would imagine losing everything: his reputation, his money, his possessions, his health, everyone he knew. And then he would ask himself, if I lost all of this, would I still be a strong man? The answer was always yes, because he had built his inner foundation so solidly that nothing external could shake it. And that is perhaps the most powerful secret of all. So what's the final truth Musashi discovered? It's simple yet devastating. The difference between strong men and weak men is not what they can achieve. It's what they can live without. Weak men need constant approval. They need endless distractions. They need immediate pleasure. They need external validation. They need company just to feel complete. Strong men can live without all of it. And that's exactly why they end up having it all. Here's the paradox that will blow your mind. When you stop needing something, you become irresistible to it. When you stop needing approval, people naturally respect you more. When you stop needing company, you become someone everyone wants to be with. When you stop needing success, success starts flowing toward you. Musashi discovered this 400 years ago, and it remains just as true today. So now you have a choice. You can close this video, return to your ordinary life, and continue being just another man drifting through existence. Or you can accept Musashi's challenge. You can begin your journey of transformation today. If you've made it this far, you've already proven you're different from most people. Most gave up in the first few minutes, but not you. You're here because you want real change, real transformation. If you're ready for this journey, I want you to do one thing. In the comments, just write, I accept Musashi's challenge. Make it public, make it real. This is your commitment to yourself. And subscribe to the channel right now, because every week I bring you the secrets of the most powerful men in history. Weak men seek comfort, strong men seek growth. And always remember, the path of strength is the path of solitude. But at the end of that journey, you won't be alone, you'll be complete.